Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's your Uncle Oski here. How you doing today? Welcome back. Let's go for another walk today. And it's Friday. Thank God. Thank God it's Friday. But you know what? Hear me out, right? Tell me if you've been here before. You hear your alarm. You wake up out of your sleep. You sit there for a moment or two, right, in your sleepy state, and you beg for it to be wrong. You start praying. You start negotiating. You start doing everything, right? But eventually, you realize it's true, you have no more time, and you gotta get up. And as you're going through the process of waking up, you get out of bed, you go brush your teeth, yada, 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 wash your face. Hopefully, you're washing your face. Uh, and then you come to a crushing, even more crushing realization. And that's that it's Tuesday. You have this day and then 3 more days until the weekend. You start, and then you start contemplating, do I really need my job? Should I just call out? Maybe I tell work I can't come in. You know, you tell them, hey, I've recently come down with a case of death. I need the day off. I've died. I can't come in. Knowing your job, they'll probably tell you to come in anyway. They'll probably dig up your grave and drag your ass to work. But in the end, eventually you realize, you got to get up. You got to get your sorry ass to work. Rinse and repeat for the next 3 days and ad infinitum, because you're going to be working probably until you either drop dead or the next 40 years, depending on how old you are. If you're just coming out of school, probably 40, 45 years. Good luck with that. But seriously, right? I could sit here and I could glaze, the weekend forever and wax poetry about my love of Saturday, right? But really, my love for the weekend comes from just how much I fucking hate everything else, you know? Think about it like this, right? We work so much of our waking lives. Like, barely any of us actually work a 40-hour work week, right? Like, now I feel like everywhere and everyone I know has the 1 hour lunches. And while you don't have to work during that hour, really, I mean, it's still in the middle of your workday. So really, you're still kind of on the clock slash like involved in work for at least 45 hours now. And that's like, dude, that's removing everything else surrounding work, because I count being involved at work with getting ready for work, showering, changing, commuting to work, overtime. I mean, really, it really, it feels like a lot of us, especially like if we're not working from home, a lot of us are involved at work like at least or well over 50 hours a week. I mean, and even worse, how many of us have to be ready for a call or email during off work hours? Like in my job position, in my field, there's a lot of people who are on call and have to be ready to maybe take a ticket at like 2 a.m. or 5 a.m. Like fuck me, like it just really never ends, and then yeah, fuck man, and then the rest of the weekday, you're consumed by doing other stuff you don't want to do. Doing chores, going grocery shopping, I don't know, preparing other work stuff maybe. I mean, shit, how many of us have kids? Getting kids to and from school, helping them with homework, making food for them, putting them down for a nap, all of it. Just fucking all of it. And the worst part is really like you could leave a lot of that stuff for the weekend, but then you're spending your weekend time, your only real free time, doing even more things that you don't want to do. Like it's a lose lose. It's a fucking lose lose. You don't win either way. And what's annoying too, right? What else annoys the absolute shit out of me is that, you know, there are certain things that you can only do during the week because everything else is closed during the weekend. So let's say you need to go to like a medical professional, or you need to go to some sort of government office because you have some shit to take care of so the feds don't fuck you over, you know? And like a lot of these places, they're like, the people that work there are just like us. They're normal people. So they have their weekends too. And that leaves you with this situation, right? Where either one, you're going to have to be rushing during the work week after work to get to these offices and do all these things. So then you have even less free time during your weekdays. And then, dude, some of these places are open on Saturday, but then you're using your Saturday time, your one real true day off because there's no work the next day, and you don't have work that day. Like it, oh fuck, man. Like it's super annoying, and I mean, if you want to go and not want, but like if you need to go to some of these places during the week, you bet your ass your job's gonna tell you to use PTO. So you're gonna have to use your paid days off to go do even more shit that you don't want to do. It's just it feels like a cycle of just like, hey, pick between X and Y, and guess what? You don't want to do either, but you're gonna have to because these are the only days available to do them. It's so it's just so obnoxious, man. And I think what's even what annoys me too, really? Like when it comes to the weekend, like as much as I love it, it's super annoying about it. And it's not even like the weekend itself. It's kind of like how we structure it, in our work structure. I don't know if I'm articulating that well, right? But you'll see what I mean, right? Almost everyone is off during the weekend. So anything that you would want to do or think to do, everyone else is doing the same thing. So places are overly packed. There's weekend prices, so prices are higher. And it generally gets to the point where you're just like, dude, I don't even want to fucking do this. Like, I hate going to the movies and having the movie theater filled with obnoxious fucking people. It's one thing if the theater's packed and everyone's respectful. But like these days, how many times is that gonna fucking happen? So let's say it's Saturday or Sunday, you want to go to the movie theater, you want to go to the water park, you want to go to a museum, you want to take your kids somewhere. Everything's gonna be so fucking packed. You're gonna be waiting in long lines. Everything's gonna be more expensive. It's just so annoying to deal with. But honestly, the trade-off is worth it because, good God, you're finally getting a chance to do something that you actually enjoy, And look, that everything I just said in that little tangent, like it really doesn't matter, because all those little complaints, they don't fucking matter at all. The weekend, we get so very little time for ourselves outside of the few hours, after work until we sleep. But even then, we're still doing stuff. And then the weekend, the weekend gives us time to just recharge and give us time to actually live our lives, the thing that we're all doing, do the things that we want to do, give our brain some good feeling that we just don't get at all. Like it just releases all those good chemicals. It just makes it happy, and it makes it feel like you can finally, that you can make it through the next 5 days. It just sucks for me that for pretty much 5 days full on repeat, probably until you're close to the grave, or even shit. I mean, how many of us don't even get to retire? We just fucking die. We don't even ever get to enjoy retirement. We spend the majority of our lives looking forward to 2 days. 2 out of 7 days we actually look forward to. 2.5 if you want to count Friday. You know what I mean? But like, it's not sustainable. It's not enough because as much as I love the weekend, those few days are not enough to really, they're just not enough. We need, I would love a 4-day work week. I hope to God within my lifetime we actually get to that point, because I cannot imagine living like this for the next 30, 35 years if I'm lucky. Who knows? I might be in for another 40. Good God Almighty, fucking help me. But it's just not sustainable. We can't do this. We can't live for 2 days and then hate the rest of the 5. It's just not possible. The math does not work. That is fucked up. And I've seen what it does to older people. They are fucked up. Mentally, physically, just all of it. But look, it's Friday today. Enjoy your weekend. Nothing beats it because fucking everything else sucks. So enjoy the next 2 days and let's get out there, guys. Thank you guys for listening. This was a very rambly video. I didn't really have much of a point. I just really needed to to shout into the air, thank God it's fucking Friday. So, until next time, guys, I'll see you then. Thank you.